Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools.
Welcome to the Jim Reith Show Unleashed podcast, episode number 71.
Wham.
Thank you, Just Joe. We have some announcements coming up soon about the program, and so we'll get to those after William returns from his vacation in Florida.
That's right.
Which is coming up.
1 week from tomorrow, I leave.
Beautiful. Let's do the Yahoo, because the Yahoo of the week was like shooting fish in a barrel because there's so many. So I stuck with three. I'm not going to name this guy. The St. Lawrence County Town Justice. You hear about this? They booted him. Multiple acts of misconduct were the charges, including social media posts. This is a judge now backing vigilantism. Ooh, yeah, there's a judge. And he was adamantly against trans people for whatever reason. So he's out. So he's one of our Yahoos of the week. National Grid, of course, could be the Yahoo of the year because they're going to raise rates in April.
I just saw that.
You got to be kidding me. They're going to raise rates in April.
That's what we got to get. We got to get somebody to talk about who's in fault at this, what do they need to do to fix it.
Right. And now this guy is in the running for Yahoo of the year, and this is unfortunately kind of not even kind of a serious thing. It is a serious thing. This is the idiot that had the 150 animals that they had to take from his place. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did.
I mean, horses. I mean, we're talking about large. Whoop, there we go.
Uh-oh.
We're talking about, all right, we're talking about large livestock that, are we off? No, I'm out. I'm unplugged. All right. Well, I can keep going. We're talking about livestock, big horses, donkeys, cows, and then even dogs and cats and gerbils and all kinds of stuff. But 150 animals. Thank you, Producer Bill. And this guy was busted back in 2019 for the same thing. He had dead animals on his farm. And his name is Jeffrey Zehr, Z-E-H-R. So that's horrific to me. Obviously, you're abusing animals. You're torturing them, really. And so he could be our Yahoo of the year.
I was talking to you before we went on the air about a program that I'm watching on HBO Max called Neighbors, and that's one of the scenarios. There's a guy that put a farm in his backyard, and the neighbors just, they don't want anything because it like brought down the property value like $100,000.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be zoned, agriculture for them to do that.
They are the people that are mad about it, the cutest, gayest couple ever. It's the fun. They're so fun. It's. I'm only 2 episodes in. This is going to be a banger, I think.
All right.
It's going to be a good one.
I don't have HBO Max, so I'll have to live it through you.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's get to our esteemed guest because he's here. Our official political analyst, Grant Reeher from the Maxwell School is here. Grant, how you doing?
Good, and I'm glad I didn't make your Yahoo list. Thank you.
Not yet. So let's talk about war because that's where we're at now. This has happened since we've talked last, and this is,
yes.
We're in such a quagmire right now because of the Straits of Hormuz. What next, I guess, would be my question.
I think that's the question on everyone's mind. I have to say at the beginning, I am not an expert on international relations. I'm not an expert on the Middle East. I can tell you what I think, and I can comment, I think, more intelligently on what the domestic politics ramifications of all this are.
Sure.
But
they are large.
Oh yeah, huge. And but I one thing I would say is, and this is a way of making a comment about the domestic politics, the thing that I would think is just simply off limits. Although we've said this before and then we've gone there, but I think what I think is simply off limits is the commitment of any kind of ground troops in the area for the United States. I just don't think that the country, even with the situation we're in now, would tolerate that. And there just isn't any appetite for that. There hasn't been since Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't see that being on the table. And absent that, then it's not clear to me, not being an expert, how you would get any kind of regime change without doing that. I suppose you'd have to rely on Israel to do something to carry that out. But again, that puts us, meaning the United States and also the world, in very precarious situation. So and I can't imagine Israel's got an appetite for that either, at least their population. So so I'm not sure where this goes. I think it probably kind of peters out with some sort of arrangement, some sort of understanding, something that the president will call a deal. I think the hope was that there'd be more of a shakeup in the leadership and more of a shakeup in the relationship between that leadership and the population of Iran, and some of the really awful strictures that their population lives under. But I don't see any great evidence of that. So
I think it really hurt him. I really hurt him politically, I think, when all of the allies said, we're staying out of this. So that now gives, hopefully, Republicans the balls now to stand up and say, well, we're not behind that. Like you said, he tries to put ground troops in. I think that's where the division happens. And then who knows what happens after that. But I agree with you. The American public will not put up with that. Meanwhile, we don't hear anything about Venezuela till they beat us in the baseball classic. And then we don't hear anything about Cuba, and they have no power except for Guantanamo Bay, of course, which is ours. And the rest of Cuba has no power. So what are we doing? I mean, I think that's the question that most Americans are asking. And why? And here's what a lot of people are asking, Grant, and you know this. And why won't people in Congress stop him? That's the question. Why?
Well, the answer to that one is pretty simple. It's that in some ways, Congress has limited power, almost no power, to stop a president from engaging in short-term military activity. The legislation that's there is retrospective. I mean, the War Powers Act, even if it were something that had been followed to the T since it was passed, which it has not, and no president, including Democratic presidents, have acknowledged that this law is constitutional, have all claimed it's a unconstitutional incursion into the president's powers as commander-in-chief. That's a retrospective thing. That has to do with the president reporting to Congress what he's done, and then putting limits on how long that can go on without congressional approval and consultation. So first of all, constitutionally, the president can do these kinds of things. He can't sustain them necessarily without violating the law, again, depending on if that law is constitutional or not. And then the votes just simply aren't there. They're just not there in either of these chambers. So if we get to the midterms, Democrats take control of at least the House and perhaps the Senate, although that's a longer shot, then I think obviously you'd see the institution as an institution behaving differently. But right now, so much of our political decisions, even the ones that we don't think should be driven by partisan concerns, are. And in fact, the reaction so far to the war with Iran is entirely one that it has been following partisan lines almost completely, and more specifically than that, how you feel about the president. And so how you feel about the president is almost entirely predictive of what you're going to say you think about what we've done so far in Iran.
Yeah, and that's, to me, is sad, because now you're taking out critical thinking from the equation. You're just following whatever your party wants to do, and that's the easy way out for a lot of people, unfortunately, instead of educating yourself as to what the real issues are and what's really going on, not wading through misinformation and not watching just one source. That it's just, that's where we are politically, unfortunately. And I really Did you realize you said if we get to the midterms? That's.
Oh, I said. Oh, I thought. Oh, that was a misspeak. I meant. Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
I'm meaning that. What if we don't get? I mean, who knows?
No. Let me say this as a political scientist, as a citizen, and as long-term guest on your show. People who are worried somehow about these elections being set aside or being somehow fundamentally subverted, there's noise to this effect. There is saber rattling to this effect, but it's not going to happen. We're not there. We're not there. We are not at that existential point. We will have midterms. What I meant to say is when we get to them, if there's a change in party control.
Yeah, there most certainly will be. I mean, we've seen all these retirements. We've seen Democrats winning special elections where Democrats had no reason to win in districts that were, pro-Trump by double digits. So that bodes really ill for the Republican Party. Like you said, the Senate's a long shot, but there are many people in the Senate who are considered elderly and whose health could, in 6 months worsen. So who knows about that? But it's a long shot. But the House is certainly up for grabs. And then, like you said, now we can get back to having a real institution, a real separation of powers, hopefully.
Well, I'd be stunned if the House doesn't shift to a Democratic majority. I think the only question is how big of a majority it will have, and so that'll certainly change a lot of the dynamic.
Yeah, and I think it affects, which is also interesting, it affects down the line ballots a lot, and it affects local elections as well. And you saw a sea change toward Republicans in many localities throughout the country in this last election. Now you're going to see a swing back, all up and down. Our Onondaga County legislature is just one example. It's now
that was
led
incredible
by Democrats.
That was remarkable. And what was remarkable about that was how the national mood swing manifested itself at that local level of election, and one where the Republicans at least had a pretty good brand for a long time. So I think a lot of people got taken by surprise. The other thing that I'm seeing, and normally it's been an axiom in political science for many decades that primaries don't really tell you that much about the general election. But I think we're in different kind of political times now. One of the things that I think I noticed from this last set of primaries is just the enthusiasm level that's being reflected in the turnout on the Democratic side. Democrats, certainly in 2024, and more generally, have suffered from an enthusiasm gap. They're just less excited about their candidates than Republicans are, and you didn't see that in this set of primaries. In fact, you saw the exact opposite, the complete reversal of the normal pattern. And I think not only does that say something about 2026, I think it might say something about 2028 as well in the presidential cycle, if that enthusiasm can carry through. A lot of it's negative enthusiasm, but it still gets people to the polls.
Right, and that's what midterms are going to be all about, is turnout. They're usually, lower in turnout because it's not a presidential year. And so turnout, and even on a local level, we talk about that a lot. Turnout is exciting your base. And so the more outrageous things that the president does closer to the midterms, the more the Democrats are going to get energized. And, I do agree with you that the House is certainly going to change hands. Thank you, Grant, as always, for your commentary, and we appreciate it very much. And we'll be talking again very, very soon.
Grant, before you leave, do you like baseball?
Yeah. I used to play baseball.
Who's your team?
Well, I've got to say the Yankees. I know that's controversial. People love the Yankees and hate the Yankees.
It's all right.
Attaboy.
As long as you don't say the Mets or the Phillies, we're good.
That's right.
Well, don't get me started. Okay, so I will confess something much more controversial.
Okay.
When it comes to football, I am a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan.
Ooh,
I've been my whole life. Okay,
we need
so
a new.
yeah, I know.
We need a new political.
We all have. Hey, look, we all have our crosses to bear, right?
That's true. Yes, I'm a Giants fan, so. We haven't won in like 100 years.
So anytime you mention anything having to do with Philadelphia, the hair on the back of my neck just goes straight up.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you, Grant.
We'll see you.
Sure, you bet. All right.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's good. That's very good to know.
It's that time of year we ask the pressing questions this time of year. Who do you follow in baseball? Now, did you hear what's going on in the world of television and baseball?
As regards to
a lot of teams are now trying to find their own.
Yes.
So the Braves have now Braves.tv.
Okay.
For the Braves country, they call it the tri-state area or wherever around.
Oh yeah, sure.
Georgia.
Yeah.
It's $99 a year, and you're guaranteed no blackouts unless it's one of the Apple
National
TV,
right,
that kind of
streaming game.
Right. I'm not eligible for that because I'm not in Braves country. I am a member of MLB.tv, which it's $139 for a year, and I get all the games.
Yeah.
The only time it's blacked out for me is when they play the Yankees and the Mets, but I have both SNY and yes, so I'm good.
Yeah.
But I feel bad that for years, a lot of
TBS, right?
A lot of, and not just the Braves, a lot of teams have had the same problem over the past few years. So hopefully we can get over this.
Well, what happened was that the one company that had a bunch of rights for a bunch of teams just wasn't working. So they dumped it and they had nowhere to go. So now they're slowly, the Yankees have had, although they sold a large amount of it and then bought some of it back. It's really weird.
Yankees now have a streaming.
Yeah, they do. Yes.
For them also
on their app, right? On the,
it's yes. It coincides with but it's its own app now.
And the Mets have SNY.
Yes.
So they're covered. So we get all the games, but yeah, it's terrible for fans because it's a double whammy because you can't afford to go to a game. You can go to a couple games, maybe. Like if you lived in Atlanta, there's ways that you can get cheaper tickets.
Yeah, they have I think they have a standing room only ticket there.
Do they?
And they do a lot of in-town deals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you live in Atlanta, there's ways you can get.
But I don't have the greatest seats for next Friday night.
No.
But they're outfield. But they were pretty let me see what I got them right here. What were they? They were pretty expensive.
It's at Fulton County Stadium. Is that what they call it?
Truist Park. Now.
Truist Park. Okay. Same stadium though.
Yeah.
Right?
They were I'm sitting right in just about center field.
Okay.
And they were 130 a piece. What were 135 each. Now
Why?
If you were
why?
Well, it's opening day.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I didn't pay like platinum or scalper. It's just it is what it is at this point.
So if you wanted to go to a game, say a week later, with the ticket, it wouldn't be $130 to sit back there, would it?
No, but it's close.
Oh man, no.
Family of four can't afford to go to a baseball game.
No.
In some markets,
I did not know that.
Even I'm pretty sure bleacher seats. Do you know how much Green Monster seats are?
Oh man, I can't even.
$700. I was gonna go because I'm gonna go to the Braves Sox. It's on like a Tuesday in May or June, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was gonna because my buddy Justin, huge Boston fan, and he always says how great it is to sit on the Monster. Negative.
So have you gotten tickets yet
for Boston?
Yeah.
We'll get in the we'll sit in the third baseline.
Third baseline.
Up a little bit, not right down front.
And how much would those
about the same, $135?
No. I thought you were going to say like $50.
No, not in Fenway Park. It's one of the smaller parks too.
Right.
No, yeah, Washington's pretty reasonable. I think I only paid like $50 or $60 when I went there a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think it's just going to keep going up, and it's going to get worse because next year they're going to be on strike.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to
either a strike or a lockout,
and they're going to go up even more
because the owners want a salary cap because they need to get a $700 million yacht instead of the $600 million.
Right.
You get an extra 15 feet where you can land the helicopter on.
And teams are going to pay for players until 2098, like.
Right.
Ohtani.
Yeah. So that should be illegal too. And that's a whole nother discussion. That whole
look at this guy here
deferring.
Speaking of sports.
All right, let's bring up our next guest. It's
he's
Brent
still wearing a
S.
hat.
Yeah,
he's still on this. He's still on the Saber kick
wagon. They're a wagon, and you should get on board. Do you know who is in first place in all of the Eastern Conference in the entire National Hockey League? All the teams. That's
got to be Buffalo.
The Buffalo freaking Sabres.
It's the only NHL game I've ever seen. I saw them in the Stars years ago, and there was a great arena that they have, and it's live hockey is the best. It is. I give you that.
It's deep.
Sure.
Their arena's deep. So if you're sitting up top,
Oh, it's up there.
No,
You're
we
looking
were
down.
we were in like there were corporate seats. They were corporate seats. So you had like they brought stuff to your seats and stuff. Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It was a friend of mine who had
I
them.
didn't know you were.
I'm a Devils
wine and
fan, so
cheese
we're
crowd there, Jim Reith.
rivals.
I took Jim Reith as
Yeah,
a man
wine
of the
and cheese
people.
crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am usually, unless I get the opportunity to not be. Then I grab it, and I have had that opportunity, thankfully. So I do want to talk about SU and the fact that now it supposedly the coach that they wanted said no, thank you, no. So that, and I love the question. What does that mean about the program?
Your article today really summed it up.
Yeah,
really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. And, as a columnist, sometimes you have to have takes, but sometimes you just have a lot of questions. And when this came down last night, my head's full of questions, right? Who said no to who? Why would he say no? You're not going to go to Providence instead of Syracuse, are you? Like, that's not what's happening here. You'd much rather see him go back to South Florida, frankly, who apparently is making him a pretty strong offer to stay there. But the biggest question is, if this guy said no, and we don't know who said no to who here. My guess is that Hodson pulled himself out of the running because he just didn't like what he heard about what the opportunities were at Syracuse. But what does that say about the Syracuse job in 2026? That the coach at South Florida is like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to let South Florida and Providence fight over me, and I'm going to take Syracuse out of the equation. Like, that just presents a lot of questions to me. And I think the lesson here, guys, is, and I should have learned this lesson beforehand, it's never the front runner, right? Brian Blair, the AD, first time I heard his name was basically when he was hired.
right.
Fran Brown.
Right.
Okay, I reported Fran Brown signing that contract, but that came in real late in the process. Doug Marrone, first time I heard his name was when somebody called me and said, hey, guess what? Syracuse just hired this guy. It was somebody who was on the field. Chicago Bears playing the New Orleans Saints, and he was an assistant coach with the Saints. And like, guess who the new coach at Syracuse is? Doug Marrone. First time I heard his name, right? So
wow,
it's never the front runner. So now we've got to ask ourselves, okay, does Syracuse turn to Jerry McNamara now? Do they go to Luke Murray at UConn? Phil Martelli at VCU is rising up the charts. Or is there somebody in the weeds that we should be looking for here? Because we don't know who Brian Blair likes. Nobody knows what Brian Blair likes. He's on the job for 5 minutes. So who does he like? Now the field is the field. The candidates are the candidates, but there might be somebody he likes no one's talking about right now.
Right.
So
it could be.
it's
Absolutely.
very intriguing.
Really, to me, it comes down to 3 letters, and it's NIL, and that's it. That's where we're at. And
Now,
so,
can I pop a little hole in that balloon, though?
yep.
If I'm Brian Hodson, and I get winning at Syracuse is different than South Florida, but a good coach with $8 million at NIL, which is supposedly what Syracuse had, gets that team to the tournament. Okay. You don't need
$8 million.
This thing about like, it's got to be 14 million to be good. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
A
$8 million is
good
good.
coach with 8 million in NIL gets Syracuse in as one of the 8 ACC teams in the tournament. So I'm not saying don't fill the coffers as full as you can.
No,
of course
you have to.
But
I think 8's good.
I don't think somebody can come in from South Florida and be like, nah, I need about 12 to win. It's like, wait, hold on, bro. You just won at Arkansas State and South Florida. You're telling me like we give you 10 million, you can't win with that here? I think I would push back on that too if I was Syracuse. I'm not saying they did, but an eyebrow would go up if I was Syracuse on that one.
What did Malik Brown get to go to Duke, do you think?
I don't know. I would probably say around $1 million.
Okay.
Duke's paying out. And
yeah,
remember, Malik Brown is a role player. He's a guy off the bench. Now, he is one of the best defensive players you will see, but he's not like a boozer type level star. But
no, but he's going to get to the NBA.
Duke has that kind of money. He certainly will. Duke has that kind of money to pay 6 men and defensive specialists, and that must be nice if you're John.
So
Shire.
$8 million among $8 million bucks should be enough for SU. You can get if you can get a star for $1 million. Now you got the rest of the money to divide among $300,000 and $400,000 guys. Come on,
which would be why you hire a Jerry or an up and comer, so you can put more of those resources into NIL. Get a good enough coach that you're paying what Syracuse should pay, but also divert as much resources as you can to those 3 magic letters that you brought up, Jim.
Yeah. Now, do you see, because this happened, do you see this process now taking longer?
It depends on who you want. Like, no offense to Jerry, you're losing to Duke on Thursday.
I was going to say Friday, we might know.
Siena plays Duke Thursday at, I think it's 2:45. By 5 o'clock, we might know, like, who the next coach at Syracuse is. And remember, it's not only Jerry. He brings Arenze Onawaku and Ryan Blackwell. Those are 2 good coaches with him. So you want Jerry, you just said it, Bill. You got Friday morning. Let's have the presser.
Friday morning.
You want Luke Murray,
probably.
You're going to wait till the Final Four, likely. Phil Martelli at VCU, I don't see them going far. So you might have to wait a little longer for a guy like that. So it depends on who you want. And
I don't
you
see
have to
Phil
get over
Martelli
this
coming
fear
here.
that you could lose Jerry, right? Like if you
There's a
wait longer.
Hopkins.
Right.
Don't say
There's
that.
a Hopkins rumor too today, I heard.
There's a rumor, and nothing against Mike Hopkins, but look, the description that Syracuse put out is they want a proven winner. Mike Hopkins went to 1 NCAA tournament in 7 years. Now, can I throw another wrinkle in the mix? Mike Hopkins, general manager of Syracuse basketball. I would love that.
Yeah.
I
That
would
would
love
work.
that.
Plus, he's a
Coach,
great dude.
I think there's
Awesome
better
dude.
coaches out there. He's a
Yeah, I
great
agree.
dude. He's got a passion for Syracuse. He's been in personnel in the NBA the past couple of years. I think he knows how to work those ropes. I just think there's better coaches out there that are in it as we speak. So
GM
we'll
would
bring
be
Mike
great,
Hopkins back. Just bring him back in that capacity, not as head coach.
I don't see Phil Martelli coming here. I don't see him as a Syracuse guy myself, but I mean, that's just me. I'd like to see GMAC, I guess. I don't know, man. Now you lock the program into the family again for another how many years?
Which
We
would
just had
put him
this
at a
big
disadvantage.
shakeup.
It would put him at a disadvantage, guys, because there would be people that'd be like, oh, you're just, it's the family grocery store and the next son gets to take over. But let me just throw this out there. If Bob Jones, the head coach at Siena, was up for this job, people would be like, what? Oh, good for him. He took Siena to the tournament. But because it's Jerry McNamara, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, he took Siena to the tournament. We should hire that guy. Like, all I'm saying is be careful with that. I like how Jerry's teams play. I saw more structure on that offense and how they play defense in watching Siena this year than I've seen from Autry. Jerry's a good coach. I'm not trying to knock him. Just don't get wrapped up in it's Jerry McNamara. It's the same thing when we talk about Kyan Anthony as a basketball player. If his last name was Johnson, we'd be like, man, this guy needs a lot of work. Like, he had the worst offensive efficiency rating on the team.
Exactly.
So, like, just be careful with that is all I'm saying.
He's got a big social media presence, though. You know what I'm saying?
So did Adam Weitzman.
Got that. Well, that's another thing too. Do they look at stuff like that? Like, how do we bring back Adam Weitzman into the?
Well,
into the
they
mix?
look at how to bring back money, not necessarily Adam
correct.
Weitzman.
And
it's got to
that's
be
the lesson
money
of that, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's the lesson of that. What did Adam Weitzman really bring to the table? Now, he's actually giving real money to Siena and helping Jerry McNamara out. So if he comes back in the fold, I don't care who's sitting courtside. I don't care how many likes you get. How much money are you giving to players? That's what matters, direct line. If he wants to do that, then welcome back, my friend.
Was he helping the SU women's team too?
He was. He was paying
was-
Deja Fair was actually, I believe, the highest amount an athlete got, which is ironic considering he was mostly tied to the men's basketball team. And I think the second highest was Elijah Clark, now with the Dallas Cowboys in the National Football League. So you got to give some real money to the players this time around. Come on in.
All right.
Before you go, what did this World Baseball Classic do for baseball this year? I think
Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox for winning the World Baseball
You
Classic.
boy, you got that right. Holy cow!
They were all over the place. All
they
over the
looked
place.
Really good, unfortunately.
My takeaway from that, Bill, is it means so much more to every other country than the
us.
United States of America.
Yes.
Like, they would have celebrated
Absolutely.
last night, but did you see the looks on the
man.
faces of those players for Venezuela?
Dudes were crying. I mean, just
they
flat
were
out
crying.
bawling.
they started crying during the national anthem. They were emotional during the national. I looked at my wife and said, "They're going to win this game. It doesn't matter. They're going to win
The
this
term
game."
World Baseball Classic, that's perfect. The rest of the world is so in on this, and good old USA, like, Did you see there were, I can't remember, was it Schwarber? Took off his silver medal before he got to the dugout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred put it on him before he gets to the dugout. No, out.
Took it all. Yep.
Don't want it. So
Yep.
I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I think
congratulations
for
to
the
the Red
fans.
Sox. Roman Anthony, your 2026 MVP.
See, this is the thing. See, now we've got Grant who likes the Cowboys, and we got a sports guy who likes the Red
He's
Sox.
a Sox guy, yeah. See, you're a Yankee guy, so that hits
We
you
got to
hard.
rethink all of this stuff. Who does Lurch like? Who does Lurch like?
Mets.
He's a Mets man.
Yeah. He's
All
been
right,
a Mets
I'd
guy
rather have
forever.
Brent because we can yell at each
I
other.
just think this, because the games were so good at some point,
yes,
that it really got fans back into baseball for the season. Now ready 1 week away for the start of the season. I think that it helped me a lot more than in the past. I had great, I like watching baseball, and my favorite player was in the finals, so it got me into the game more at this point than it normally does.
I think it was great all around for baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it really showed off that it's a world game and has been for a long time.
Absolutely.
The only sport that isn't is the NFL, and hasn't. They tried it a bunch of times, but the NBA has been worldwide forever, and now we're seeing it in a lot of sports. And it was so good to see how, like you said, Brent, it was so good to see how much they were into it and how much it meant to them to win that thing for their country. That was it was great.
My takeaway for sure.
Oh,
And I might surprise you
absolutely.
here. Speaking of baseball, I might surprise you. I'm actually currently reading a book, unsolicited plug here, for Mike Vaccaro, the New York Post, who is, in my opinion, the best columnist in the country.
That's
Just
great.
wrote a terrific book about the Steinbrenners and the Yankees.
Ooh.
It's really good. Even a Red Sox fan is into this. So for the Yankee fans out there, including yourself,
To
Jim,
check
I
it
would
out.
What's
highly
that called?
recommend this book. Oh boy, I should know the title of it. Mike Vaccaro. It's about the Steinbrenners. Look it up. I don't
I'll
know the
find it.
title. I should have brought it in with me, but it just came out. Just came out. It's
So
terrific.
any no geek stuff you guys want to share before we split?
Not really. I've been
content?
actually doing real work lately with all this stuff going on in Syracuse. Haven't had time
Yeah,
for the geek
it's
stuff.
boy, it's been an exciting time for you. That's good. I like it.
Is it
when,
the Bosses of Bronx?
It's like that.
That's
Boss
it.
of the-
Bosses of
Boss
the Bronx. Thank you, Bill, for looking that
All
up.
right, I'll check that out.
One other quick before you go. Saint of Second Chances. Have you seen it? The Saint of Second Chances.
I have not.
Mike V. You know who Mike Veek is, right?
I do.
Back in the day. So it's a documentary basically about him and his relationship with his father, him working with the Chicago White Sox,
White Sox, yeah.
and then him going on to independent baseball in Minnesota. And not
in.
only is it
Sounds
it a
good.
great documentary about him, it's a love letter to baseball.
Was it is his father the one that put the midget on the field to
Yes.
draw the yeah.
Yes.
That's Bill Veck from
Bill Veck,
the White Sox, legendary owner.
Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall
yeah,
of Fame.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
But it was
Eddie
it's-
Goodell.
it's-
Is that his name?
Eddie Goodell, yeah.
Is that, I don't know why I remember this stuff. I
Yep.
can't remember. Take
Send
the
'em up.
garbage out half the time, but I remember this.
It's
I
a
know.
couple years. The
Yeah,
documentary is a couple years old. I was flipping through. I said, I'll watch this thing. And
I'm in.
I was in tears in part of it. It's a love letter to baseball.
Awesome. We love that. Thank you, Brent. Talk to you
Thank
soon,
you,
man.
gents. Always great
Later.
to talk to you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think now, I don't know. I don't know if and they're gonna. Sienna's gonna lose to Duke. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Duke is gonna win the whole thing. I think anyway. I think Sienna will put up a good fight in the first half, and then it'll be over. But you never know.
How many years? How long is Coach K been gone? Did it happen the same time as Boeheim gone?
No. I think he coached a year or two further than Boeheim.
Okay,
pretty sure.
and look at they're already in the number one seed.
Yep.
New coach.
Yep. It's because of their system. I mean, their system is now that's a system that's a family system again that works. North Carolina is the same way. North Carolina stays within the family when they hire their coaches, and so it works for them. Maybe it'll work for us if they hire GMAC and his staff. And like you said, Ryan Blackwell, Arinze Onuaku they're both very good coaches. Blackwell coached in the basketball tournament with $1 million thing.
Yes.
The
Liverpool
Boeheim team.
I mean,
What
he did for Liverpool basketball was awesome.
Yes.
And he's an extremely cool dude.
Is he?
Yeah, he hangs out at the retreat once in a while. He's friends with the Gourmels that
okay.
that are the owners there.
Yeah, you can tell it's him because he's like the tallest guy in the place. Easily the tallest.
I did
guy in the place.
I did a private party for somebody that was all involved with the Gormels, and the Gormels were there, but it was Ryan Blackwell and Preston Shumpert were there, and it was like everybody, all those two dudes,
Preston Shumpert and his wife and kids attended the same church that I did back in the day with my kids, Holy Cross in DeWitt. Just the nicest family ever.
I remember him working at Hooligans back in the day in Liverpool when the Thursday night extravaganza, which I'm pretty sure Sharkies is renaming their bike night to the Thursday night extravaganza this year.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Boy, that's going back in the day.
Yep.
Those used to be pretty good parties.
Those were huge. Hootie and the Blowfish was there before Hootie and the Blowfish was even, I think that album came out right around the same time they played there, and then they blew up.
Yep.
But they were there.
Cracked Rear View. I didn't know that. I didn't know they played there.
Yep.
Nice. Now, where are you playing coming up?
This evening, Wednesday, if you're watching live or you watch today, I'm at Vic and O's Brick and Brew right down the street in North Syracuse. Great. If you like the craft, I call it craft pizza.
Yep. Wood fire.
Yeah, wood fire craft. And plus they have all the great beers and stuff.
Yeah, we've been there a bunch of times.
If you're an Elks member, I'm at the Elks Club on Friday night. And then
Is that a private thing?
I think so. I think if you know somebody, you can get in as a guest.
Yeah.
And then
I used to be an elk.
Really?
Yep.
We were gonna join when we lived right near, and then we moved, and
they've got one of the nicest lodges ever because it's right on the river.
Yep. And they have the nice pavilion out back.
Yes.
They don't charge a lot for, I think, $2.50, $3 for a can of beer. It's not a lot.
No.
And then I'm at Rocky's Pub in Liverpool with the band on Saturday, and then one of my favorite places to eat at Brian's Landing in Jamesville, right off of the road there. What is
you gotta have stack money to eat there.
It's good though. Yeah, like couple.
It is good,
but it's good. They have the mimosa deal, and the Bloody Marys are good.
We haven't been to Brewery Union yet either, and you told me that was outstanding.
Yeah,
haven't been there yet.
You can. I think we ate that breakfast 2 days in a row because
that's what I've heard.
Leftovers,
and I've heard it's really, really, really good. We do diners great in this area.
We do, and I'm excited that as soon as that Greek one opens up in Liverpool, where the old Bull and Bear used to be. It's a Greek. It's called the Olympia.
Yeah, Olympia. Yeah,
it's good. Yes. And with that name, I'd have to think that it's going to be a Greek diner.
Yeah,
and we don't have, I don't think, real, authentic Greek diners.
Not anymore.
Steak and Sunday was about the closest as you can get to the old school Greek diner, where you walk in and the desserts are in the the portions are as big as your head.
There was one on Erie Boulevard because my sister and I used to meet my dad there every Sunday, and it was a huge Greek diner, and they had all the cakes and stuff as soon as you walked in. Oh yeah,
I mean that's when I lived in Westchester. Every town had one.
Yeah, yep.
And that's where you'd go. It'd be the best food, the greasiest food, and
yes, and it's what's interesting because that just brings me back to a memory that I had the other day. You're probably too young to remember, but when there were department stores, big department stores around like downtown or whatever, they had candy counters in them. They had, what a perfume, like a perfume counter looks like, right? Big perfume counter. Well, picture that with the display cases full of candy. Every department store had them. Now you couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it, but you would walk by there. We're on the way to buy jeans or something, and I just stand there. You smell all the chocolate. They had the nonpareils, and oh my god.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that. I'm glad.
You bought it by the pound. It was, oh man. Every department store had a huge candy counter of candy like that, not wrapped and stuff. You had to buy it by the pound.
Simeon's in New Hartford.
Simeon's. Is that a
diner?
Diner? Yeah. A Greek diner?
I have to check that out. I'm in New Hartford all the time.
Really? Was that an hour?
It's right outside of Utica.
Yeah, hour.
One exit away from the Turning Stone.
Oh, okay.
It's like in between, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But there's that Commercial Drive on New Hartford where the mall is.
Yes,
and all that big stuff over there, the Target. Reimagine, if you're a record collector, Reimagine Records in New Hartford's an awesome locally owned independent record store where the owners meticulously find the best and they don't charge a ton for them.
Really?
Yeah. Though Reimagine and the Bop Shop in Rochester are two of the best curated. The guy that owns the Bop Shop, and I want to say his name is Bob. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. that's in Rochester. He'll travel the country looking for the best stuff.
Now, there's a place in Rochester that I went to years ago, a record
Archive.
day, right? It was huge.
Record Archive.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That
It's right
place
off
was
the
cool.
Yeah, you can see the building from the what is that, 4 whatever that road is there.
That place was really
It's
cool.
now that it's so big now, they have a bar in the back.
No kidding.
And they have a performance space back there now.
No kidding.
Yeah. Danny Lilliker had something to do with it, the original bass player of Anthrax.
Oh, okay.
Had something, Danny Lilliker, that might not be his name, but it might be.
It's close enough. I wouldn't know.
He has something to do with that place. He's there once in a while. I don't know if he's an owner or just worked there forever kind of guy, but
So we've got a couple places around here. The place on James Street, right?
Yep.
Books and
Memory.
Books and Memory.
Yeah.
That's a good place for use, especially downstairs.
You've got Syracuse Vintage Vinyl on East Manlius in East Syracuse.
Oh, I haven't been there.
You know where the was that old bowling alley there, the Astro Lanes?
Oh, yeah.
It's right near there.
Oh, okay.
And well, then you got Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. Yep.
That's where they're getting a load of mine soon.
Are they?
I gotta get rid of this stuff.
So they buy vinyl too?
Yep.
Nice.
And I think most of their stuff now is vinyl.
So now what is, oh, really?
Yeah, they don't have a lot of CDs anymore.
Really? Well, because digital, right?
Yeah.
So what sells better? Vintage vinyl or the new stuff that's like limited release, blah, blah, blah?
$1 billion in 2025 went to the sale of vinyl. Now, I didn't look into it. I don't know if that was just new titles that came out.
Might be new titles,
but
yeah.
it's
or newer,
the most
reissued.
Yeah, it's the most, but they're so expensive. These.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Where's do I have a reissue back here? Of a classic album. Yeah, so like, here's, I don't know, the 90s
Tupac, okay.
record. This is a reissued from 2001. These are like 30, 40, 50 bucks.
No kidding.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4 records.
Oh, wow.
You know, the reissues are more expensive. If you can find, the vintage stuff, but finding a original copy of Tupac's All Eyes on Me, you'd be spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
On two reasons. Because there were DJs used them, so they're all scratched up.
Okay.
So if you found a good one, you're in the money.
And that is what I try to tell people when they ask me about collectibles. How much is this worth? Well, it's rarity and condition. Those are the first two things you look at. Rarity, condition. Okay. Now we can go from there. So, yeah, some of the stuff. Now, who's the guy that's selling his record for $2 million? And who is that?
Vinnie Vincent from
Vinnie
Kiss.
Vincent. Yes, that's right. That's right. I meant to talk about that with you. That's right.
This is a original Jay-Z. This album. This is an original pressing of that.
Oh, original pressing. All right.
Yeah,
nice.
so it's not worth a ton, but it's
Yeah.
I think they sound good. Yeah, Vinnie Vincent. That's funny. So he took over for Ace Frehley.
Okay.
On the Creatures of the Night record was his first album that he was, on, and then that tour, he had the Ankh makeup.
Oh, okay.
And then he did two.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He did 2 records as the Vinnie Vincent Invasion in the late 80s, early 90s. The second one, which was the bigger of the two, was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the second one. Mark Slaughter was the singer from Slaughter. But he's nuts, Vinnie Vincent, like certifiably. And if Gene Simmons says you're nuts, because he's nuts, you must be nuts.
Yes.
So yeah, $2 million. So there's a new Vinnie Vincent Invasion album that is recorded.
Okay.
He tried to sell the first single for, I think, $200. I don't know what it was. Now he's selling, and it's not even the rights. It's just like the publishing of $2 million for this new album. I don't even know if you own anything. I'm sure you get some sort of kickback if you released it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like they're looking for independent person to buy the record, like if they were a record label.
Yeah,
basically.
Right. I was going to say, how are you going to release it?
Yeah. So you'd have to, get it pressed and all that stuff, put it out digitally.
Yeah, no.
But something like you're going to want a physical copy of that, because already is going to be
Right.
collectible just because of the media blitz, and good for him for doing that, because now everybody's talking about it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I wouldn't have, being a huge Kiss fan that I am, I wouldn't have cared. You know, a new Vinnie Vincent album to me isn't, you know, on top of my list of things to listen to.
Right.
But I want to listen to. I want to see why he thinks this thing's worth $2 million.
Right. Well, I'm sure everybody wants to listen to it. Now, actually, it was brilliant. It was a very smart marketing scheme.
It was the same thing that Wu-Tang did with
but that was 10, wasn't it? Or was it 1?
It was one record.
Right.
But it was the pharmacy guy bought it, that farm
Oh,
bro
that's right.
that got put in jail for
That's right.
he bought it. And I think it still hasn't been heard
No kidding.
en masse by anybody yet.
Right.
And that's something that I like Wu-Tang. And they just got done with a huge tour last year. They had a reunion kind of deal.
Speaking of tours, Beacon Skiff.
Awesome.
Holy cow.
And you haven't heard the big one yet that I know of.
Wow.
That's going to blow people away when they hear what's going to be at Beacon Skiff. But yeah, they just, what is it, Dustin Lynch? They just, Head in the Heart, which is,
yes.
you know, they were playing at.
They're backing somebody. Who are they? They're playing with somebody at CMAC.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't either.
But Baldwinsville, they played the amphitheater in Baldwinsville a couple years ago. But I think they're having problems over there with noise, so you're not going to see a lot of that stuff anymore.
Yes, they are.
I don't even know if they're going to do the food truck. They had a food truck thing over there.
I doubt it.
I played a couple times.
It's just, you know, what are you going to do?
I mean, it's you're on a body of water.
Yeah.
And it carries right into the window.
Yep.
You know, it's all these places. The F Shed, which is an awesome venue for Syracuse, same problem. You can hear, you know, when you have Skrillex as one of your first.
I know, right? And they're still trying to open that up. They're still trying to figure out a way to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. You can't. It's too near a neighborhood, and that thing is like it shoots the music out one end of it. And it's like
Beacon Skiff's going to be you're going to see it get bigger and bigger. And
now, how many does it hold right now?
I think like 4,000 or 5,000, maybe.
Right.
It's like a mid level, but it's the kind of acts that they're bringing in are solid,
amazing.
Yeah,
amazing,
solid, independent. A lot of independent stuff. Charlie Crockett's huge right now.
Yep.
Wilco is, you know, they're legendary.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun. And there's a lot of, and why I like it, there's a lot of Tuesday and Wednesday shows, so I can go.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they're very smart in what they've done, boy. I'll tell you what.
And I was pretty excited about the Pussycat Dolls at the amphitheater. I love that. I love pop music.
Okay.
So it's Pussycat Dolls, half of them. It's 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
But the openers are 90s, 2000 R&B hip hop, Lil' Kim and Maya.
Oh, no kidding.
So
I like Maya.
Yeah. So depending, she was a part of the whole Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Britney Spears.
Yeah. So depending on, what they're going to be getting for, I think that's one I got to go see. So that's something you don't see every day.
No, not in this town. That's for sure. Yeah, they're good. That's great.
When I heard that they were going to send, now I've been to the Pussycat Doll Lounge in Vegas.
Okay. That's the same thing, Bill, or is that a
no? Well, it's a
gentleman's club?
It's a burlesque.
Okay,
it was a burlesque.
All right, there's a difference between a strip club and a burlesque show.
It was an artistic performance.
Yes.
When they announced that they were going to do a reunion, I thought this, arena's big, and they come out, and maybe I just don't know. I'm just stuck in the 2000s. Right. They were huge. Yes. Pussycat Doll. Nicole Scherzinger is huge. She's been on Broadway. She's done movies.
Yep.
And it's basically her. It's her tour, and she, she allowed a couple of the other girls to come out with her.
Right.
But as long as you play the hits,
all
night. That's I told Brandy, I don't want to hear. I don't care if you put out new music. I want to hear all the songs from the Pussycat Dolls, Lil' Kim, and Maya.
That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get, and that they're smart in that. They're smart doing that. You go. They may sell out. There you go, Lil' Kim. Yep. Shouldn't look like that anymore, by the way.
Not one bit.
Yeah, no.
Here's an original pressing for you. Crisscross.
Oh, no kidding. Crisscross. Holy cow.
That I probably got this at Reimagined Records in New Hartford.
I do have an original printing of Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison.
I have one of those also.
Nice. That's great. Great album.
It's one of my favorite live albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one is, there's a
And
lot.
you watch it when you watch it, on the documentary they have about it. Amazing.
You know what I've been listening to a ton of lately? Elvis.
Yeah.
There won't ever be anybody like him ever.
Mm-mm.
There hasn't been anybody close to him ever.
It's interesting if you really want to hear Elvis without like all the extra stuff. Listen to all his gospel stuff. His gospel stuff's
Yep.
amazing. It's amazing.
His voice, when he came back for that 68 special,
Mhm.
his voice was something deranged. It was just crazy. You go back and listen to like the recording of If I Can Dream,
Mhm.
and you can tell he's not beating on that, doing line by line. He sang that a couple times and that was it. You
Mhm.
can just tell,
Yeah.
because you can tell the emotion in his voice. There's nothing covering it up. There's no auto tune.
Right. No.
It's just the best studio musicians in the world.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
at that time, the best entertainer in the world, laying down music.
Yep.
If I Can Dream, Kentucky Rain, In the Ghetto.
In the ghetto. Yep.
Just won't be anything like that before. And he was a singer. He didn't write all that stuff.
No.
He's like Sinatra.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't realize? There's dudes like Frank Sinatra aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I know, it's so stupid.
They need a wing.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Frank, Dean,
Absolutely.
Sammy,
All of them.
Liza, all of those. Barbara Streisand. I mean,
Yes.
that
Yes. It's stupid that they're not.
crooners, if you will.
Yeah. Absolutely. Perry Como. Perry Como was huge.
Bing.
This whole Bing, right?
Call it the Al Jolson wing.
Bing was the original crooner.
Well,
Jolson
Al
was
Jolson-
first.
Al Jolson was first.
A crooner, as
Yeah.
far as Bing ruled forever, and then Sinatra came along, and like I said, I just read that 700-page biography of Sinatra. It goes from the time he's a kid to when he wins the Oscar for From Here to Eternity. That's that whole thing, and he's nuts. He was nuts.
He was bonkers.
But musically untouchable.
Watch The Offer, the docudrama series about the making of Godfather.
Oh, okay.
It's called The Offer. I
Okay.
think it's on Paramount. It shows how bonkers Frank Sinatra was, because that was supposed to be him in that movie. But all the mob stuff, he had to step away.
So he went to Havana, Cuba, and was the only entertainment for the collection of gangsters from the United States. All the mobsters from all over the country went to Havana, had a huge meeting. He was the entertainment, the only entertainment. So he was hooked up with all of them, but especially Colombo and the Colombo family. He's the one that threatened. He's the one that got him out of his contract with the band leader, and he's the one that got him the movie.
There is many stories that I have sitting in my grandparents' living room talking to Lou Monte and his wife. Lou Monte and his wife Noreen were good friends with my grandparents, because my grandparents ran the Three Rivers Inn in Phoenix,
right, which had all the stars.
And Lou didn't want to stay back in the day. Lou didn't want to stay at the hotel. He stayed with my grandparents. Now my grandparents lived, where the Three Rivers Bridge is, going into Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
They lived at the Horseshoe driveway. It's a few houses before that bridge, so they were pretty close.
Oh, okay.
So I remember the first time I was 8 or 9 years old. I go to my grandparents' house, and there's this guy cooking breakfast. and I don't know who it is. And he goes, "How old are you?" I go, "I'm 8." He goes, "If you want to live to see 9, I'd start doing dishes." It's like something you'd see out of a movie. And then I don't know if it was that time or one of the times, I'm pretty sure it was my grandparents' anniversary, guitar in the living room, full-blown concert, Lou Monte.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Did the theme to Godfather, did everything.
If you want to live till 9, start doing dishes.
Start doing dishes. There's a videotape of that I think my uncle has. I gotta digitize that of Lou playing in my grandparents.
No kidding.
And my grandparents were friends with a magician, Magic of Jimmy. I think, do you know the guy Virgil?
Yes.
Magic Virgil. I think he was one of his trainers back in the day. So they were friends of they lived in Florida where my grandparents, so when they came to play the Rivers, they would stay with my grandparents, and there'd be a full-blown magic show in my grandparents' living room.
That is awesome.
Birds in the basement, birds, because he had his bird. He was the bird guy. This guy would do the bird gimmick in my grandparents' living room. They're flying all over the place. He'd bring them out, light a cigarette. I remember one of the, and this is on a videotape somewhere. He'd light a cigarette. It would blow up and a bird come out. And then he kind of, after you see him through the years, he's got all these trap doors in this coat he's wearing where the birds come out. It's great. I got to find this stuff.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's some
Foster
great
Brooks
stories,
has been
though.
in my grandparents' house. There's stories that my grandparents have told me when Bobby Darin was at the old Rivers.
Wow.
He was a jokester. So he would be, they had the rooms were upstairs at the old Rivers, the original, before it burned down.
Yep.
There were rooms. Bobby Darin would get done with the show. He'd go upstairs, start throwing firecrackers out the window. Cops would come. He'd run downstairs. Goes, what's going on? What's all this noise?
Bobby Darin.
Can you believe it? That was the trouble that they got into then.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's not like that now, unfortunately.
Nat
That's
King
awesome.
Cole. They were friends with Nat King Cole's limo driver, and then they with Nat, and I remember them seeing a greeting card when my uncle was born from Nat King Cole congratulating them.
Wow.
There was so much Three Rivers Inn stuff that we went through back when my grandparents passed that I'm sure my uncle has a lot of it now, which means at some point I'll have my hands on it. But remembering those days were a lot of fun because you saw the plot. I'm 10 years old, the platters, all these, even the new Rivers. That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
Boxing. They did everything
Right.
there.
Yes, they did. Yep.
And my whole family worked there. My grandfather was the head chef. My uncle was his assistant. My grandmother was the hostess. My mother was the waitress. They all worked there. Yep.
But the stories, that's awesome.
Now, those stories.
That's crazy.
Yep.
All right. So next week, but the week after, you'll be in Florida.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, we're gonna be doing the show live. Well, I'll be in Florida.
You'll be in Florida.
I'm gonna set you up, hopefully here.
I'll be in my inner sanctum.
And from beautiful Bonnet Creek, Wyndham in the gates of Disney.
Yeah. So, but what you were telling me was you don't even have to go to Disney.
No, there's so much stuff to do in this one. So when we stayed there last year for the first time as a family.
Okay.
I have stayed there before when I went. And there's 3 major ones of Wyndhams in the Orlando, Disney, or Universal proper. That's the best one. There's like the one we were going to stay in this year because Bonnet Creek was all booked up, was more of like the resort. Okay. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
Gated community, pools. That's it. No restaurants and bars and stuff like that. But Bonnet Creek, it's huge. I want to say there's 6 or 7 buildings that go around this this like body of water that encompasses Bonnet Creek. And they have restaurants and there's pool bars and there's activities, for kids and transportation if you need it. So luckily we got into there and we don't have to go anywhere because there's a water park in Bonnet Creek.
Is there any gators in there?
Oh yeah.
No, I ain't going there.
Right in the middle of that, whatever that body of water is in there, we're always looking.
No.
Oh yeah.
JR does not do gators.
You can see him at Disney Springs too.
No. And then, so that you're going to go there, right? Disney Springs, you said it's free?
Yeah, Disney Springs is like a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Shopping.
Yeah.
And it's also the place where it has the Cirque du Soleil, they have a Disney Cirque du Soleil building built for them. Drawing. It's something in drawing. So I think we might do that. But it's $200 a day to go to the parks now.
I know, it's crazy. $200 a day. For one person, it's $800 for a family of 4. Then you got to eat. That's $1,000.
2 years ago, we took Aria on her birthday to just Magic Kingdom. We just did the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
And it cost us, with tickets and food and everything, about $1,000 just for the day.
One day.
1,000. So we've got reservations right now for, they just opened up a Taffer's Tavern, which is John Taffer from, what's that restaurant bar rescue.
Oh, okay.
He's got restaurants now, and they just opened one of those up in Orlando. So we're going there one night. We'll go to Rock and Brews, which is Kiss's restaurant that's outside of the gates of Disney.
Okay.
And then I think we'll go to one of the off-park restaurants inside of Disney, which is either in a resort or in Disney Springs. But we eat mostly, there's grills at the Bonnet Creek. We'll get food and just eat at the resort.
Nice. Okay.
Grills, nice, huge gas grills.
Oh,
great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in a place that's kind of like a mini apartment?
Yeah, it's when you walk into it, looks like an apartment.
Nice.
But it's
That's
like
the way to
with
do
the
it.
slides and the lazy river and
Right.
$15 shark bottle drinks.
You should go exactly. You should go into that bar rescue place and start yelling at the manager.
Just
the things
yell.
he's doing wrong, just like that guy does. Just start yelling at him.
And this is, whenever I watch it, he looks like he's all coked up half the time. Comes in running around there.
It's just gonna have a heart attack one of these days.
He doesn't do it. He's not on every show anymore.
No.
He's got his minions now doing
good for him.
main things.
He made a good career for himself doing
He
that
did.
stuff. That's for sure.
And I love Gordon Ramsay does it too. And he's
Yeah.
he's a hoot.
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay was smart though, because Gordon Ramsay got jacked before he started
Yeah.
insulting people. So people don't want to mess with him.
No. And I think outside of his persona, seems like he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I'm
It's
sure that he is.
Complete opposite with Taffer. It seems like he can go the other way.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. He's not the kind of guy you want to hang around with.
No.
All right. So we'll get ready for the next two shows. And until then, take care of yourselves. Okay. And God willing, we're all back at it next time on the Jim Reith Show Unleashed podcast.